Despite denials by the Prime Minister, there is speculation mounting that he will axe the Manchester leg of the high-speed HS2 project.
Yeah, I mean, the flip-flopping on this is unbelievable. As you know, our loyal viewers and listeners, we were talking about this pretty much Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe a bit of Wednesday last week, and it's totally overshadowed most of the conference. It is now expected tomorrow to be in the Prime Minister's speech, and it will be billed as a bid to save billions in rising costs, with that investment being switched to local infrastructure in the north of England.
But it's not just the north missing out on HS2. Now there are doubts about whether services will reach central London at all. Let's go to the travel correspondent for The Independent, Simon Calder. Simon, you're at Euston Station, and if anything is built between Birmingham and London, it'll not even get that far, will it?
Well, we are getting all kinds of mixed messages here, and a very, very busy morning. Actually, behind me, about 50 metres away, there is a vast amount of work going on for the Euston Station part of HS2. And as you have been reporting, there have been questions about whether the train will ever reach Euston. It might end up in a place called Old Oak Common next to Wormwood Scrubs Prison, a patch of wasteland in West London. And various leaks overnight are suggesting that it will go through to Euston, but it will certainly not go any further north than Birmingham. If that were to happen, it would effectively undermine the whole purpose of the line. Now, there's an awful lot of people, perhaps including you, who are looking at this and thinking, well, you know, it's just going to get us to Birmingham 20 minutes quicker. That was what we were always told. Well, that was just a complete red herring. This is all about having more capacity on the lines, about having this Y shape. So you've got the Manchester line here, the Leeds and Sheffield line here, and they funnel down to Birmingham. They take all the high-speed traffic off the network, leaving much more capacity for local and regional services and for freight. And if you don't build the whole lot, well, actually, you get left with a shuttle between Birmingham and London, which is not really going to do many people much good at all, I'm afraid.
OK, let's assume that what we all suspect is going to happen, that this northern leg is going to be shelved, right? And we're going to hear from the government, and they're going to say, we can't afford it, we're saving money, inflation, it's just too much. You know, the cost of aluminium, steel, whatever it is involved, it's just way more than what we first projected, and we're actually being responsible with our cash. Why is it that this country is not able to invest in these kinds of high-speed trains that they are able to on the continent? Why is it unaffordable for us, but affordable for them? And not just on the continent, you go to Japan, wherever it might be. What are we doing wrong?
Well, yeah, OK, well, in Japan, for instance, when they started building the bullet trains, and we're talking now about the 1960s, it was extraordinary events. So there were lots and lots of opposition to that. And so, therefore, they decided, well, we're going to do it anyway. But if you look at France and Spain, which have by far the biggest opportunities for great high-speed rail across Europe, they are in the position of having this fantastic network that they can build through largely empty countryside. We don't have that luxury, which is why the Chilterns are being dug up, why there's so much controversy locally. There isn't the space. They've got to buy the land. It's very expensive. Add to that complete continuous re-specification by the government. They still don't know what's going to be happening here at Euston, and you get a project which is ballooning in cost, and the benefits are hugely reducing.
Would you be in favour of it being scrapped just on the basis of, you know, reinvesting that money perhaps in infrastructure east to west? You know, can you see the advantages, or are you disappointed if it does get shelved?
But no, I mean, it's not a question of whether I'm disappointed in it. It's very simply the fact that if you do not build the whole lot, then there is no point in it. A little shuttle between London and Birmingham is frankly not of any relevance. We've already got, actually, from here, 5 trains an hour to Birmingham. From Marylebone down the road, there's another couple there. So actually, Birmingham to London is the one bit of the country which doesn't need high-speed rail. The whole idea was to give the north, to give the East Midlands to give Yorkshire much better connectivity to London. That has now, it appears, been scrapped. And of course, any improvements on public transport, as somebody who supports people getting around by train, I'm in favour of, but not if you're going to ditch a project which was absolutely going to transform the UK. And now it looks as though that will be torn up. And we will see if there were to be a change of government, which position the Labour Party is adopting this week, having changed its mind quite severely in the last 2 weeks.
Indeed. Simon, really appreciate your take. Thank you very much indeed.